In the heart of the ancient palace, shadows dance with secrets older than the kingdom itself. Peculiar whispers echo through the grand corridors, carrying tantalizing echoes of a hidden truth that has silently endured the passage of time. Before we go deeper into what this really means for the royal family, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. Yet today, the whispers might finally find their voice, revealing the clandestine fabric of a legacy that's both revered and feared. It all begins with a single thread unraveling, a mysterious document discovered in an unlikely place, hinting at untold tales of betrayal and clandestine accords sealed with sacred oaths. The burden of hidden knowledge is heavy, a tangled web woven from ambition, love and deceit, threading its way through the generations. As the tapestry of history starts to unveil itself, the stakes for this royal family rise like an unstoppable tide, threatening to engulf the serene facade with a torrent of scandal and revelation as the truth inches forward from the shadows, determined to see the light of day. With the lustrous crown resting heavily upon his brow, the young king felt the weight of 1,000 generations pressing down upon his shoulders. Though the halls of the palace gleamed with the splendor of gold and the echoing whispers of grandeur, they were also home to shadows, a darkness that crept silently, wrapping itself around every pillar like an ancient wraith. This was not just a kingdom he governed, but a living testament to the relentless and unforgiving scrutiny of royal invincibility. Every decision he faced, every decree he uttered, ensnared him in an unyielding web of expectations, woven with strands of tradition and the unforgiving gaze of his advisors. These walls had witnessed the rise and fall of emperors, their triumphs etched in stone, yet they maintained their arrogance, eager to remind each sovereign of their inevitable vulnerability. Within this fortress of opulence, hope was a fragile flame, flickering under the steely scrutiny of those who would see it extinguished. Political alliances shifted like sands, and even the gentle flattery of courtiers often masked ulterior motives. Among the vermilion velvet robes of nobility, betrayal festered, a curved blade perpetually poised at the expanse of his back, waiting for the briefest moment of inattention. His heart, once carefree, now bore the scars of vigilance, the face of each smiling ally, a possible foe. The hallways brimmed with opulence and elegance, yet the air thrummed with the palpable tension of secrets untold and stories best left buried in the past. Confidants were few, and their loyalty was tested as the days ripened and soured like forgotten fruit. And amidst this tempest, a singular figure seemed unperturbed by the chaos. The queen, steadfast and resolute, her strength as formidable as the granite cliffs that shielded the kingdom from the tempests beyond. Her presence offered a sanctuary of calm, a fleeting reminder that beneath the mask of the monarchy, they were merely flesh and bone, hearts that beat in search of solace and understanding. But even she knew in the silence before dawn that times of peace are fragile tapestries, easily unraveled by the careless threads of ambition and the unquenchable thirst for power. The king, though surrounded by luxury, felt the tightening grip of solitude, a monarch ensnared in golden chains. The halls that should have sung with the joyous feet of revelry, instead whispered stories of forebears, lessons of wisdom, drowned by echoes of forgotten roars. Royalty, it seemed, was not defined by jeweled diadems nor embroidered robes, but by resilience, the capacity to withstand the imperceptible pressures that threatened to rend him apart. Yet, amidst this turmoil, hope lingered like the first light of dawn, fragile but unyielding, in the gathering murmur of the court. Secrets lurked, unspoken truths that begged to be unearthed, challenging both king and queen to rise above and redefine what it meant to rule in a world spinning ever tenuously between glory and ruin. As the sun cast long shadows over the land, an ominous question remained. Could they withstand the storm that brewed on the horizon? Their story, delicately poised on the precipice of history, depended not only on their lineage, but on their courage to face what lay ahead with an unwavering heart, lest they succumb to the lurid whispers of a fate unchosen. The sun had dipped below the horizon, cloaking the opulent palace in a cloak of twilight shadows. Within its lavish walls, whispers ricocheted like echoed warnings, tugging at the delicate thread that held the dynasty together. The air, dense with secrets, carried tales that the corridors bore witness to, a past resplendent with power, but now marred by the whispers of dissent. Its grandeur now seemed a fragile mask, barely obscuring the deepening rift between honor and betrayal. For in the heart of this regal world, not all was as it seemed. Where luminous chandeliers cast gilded beams, the walls themselves had eyes, and the halls harbored ghosts of yesterday's forgotten sins. In this labyrinth of opulence, treachery silently clawed at the edges, preparing to unravel what generations had built. Political intrigue brewed like a storm on the horizon, as alliances shifted underfoot with a precision unmatched. The privileged few, always poised, stood on precipices of their own making, each step threatening to plunge them into the abyss of their ambitions. Noble smiles hid their calculating natures, and promises offered with one hand were retracted with the other. Within these intricate games of power, even the closest of confidantes could be the architects of downfall, and shadows knew where loyalties truly lay. Could it be that the very foundations of the monarchy were built on such shifting sands? As the night deepened, a muffled murmur hinted at the revelations yet to surface, stories that yearned for liberation. The corridors seemed tighter, the air thicker than before, as if the palace itself braced for a coming storm. From quiet chambers echoed the sound of history, rewriting itself, a steady drumbeat that threatened to uproot the past. Beneath the surface, the currents of history swirled with a fierce urgency, the palace a battlefield where hidden agendas danced. The night would not wait forever, and dawn promised new tides. But what the light would reveal was a certain mystery, promised only by the dark's retreat. The stage was set, and the players waited with bated breath, for in the kingdom's heart, the shadows whispered louder than words ever could. In the grand halls of power, where every whispered word could tip the scar. Aisles of history, the monarchy learned an immutable truth. The reflection seen in the public mirror could very well determine the rise or fall of their legacy. Public opinion, like a chameleon, shifted with the times, revealing favor one moment and disdain the next. Asterisk the king, once draped in the golden hues of reverence, now faced an unsettling murmur growing among his people. A rumor that twined like ivy around his throne. Asterisk, was it mere gossip fanned by idle tongues, or a storm gathering strength, threatening to consume the very roots of his rule? The royal family found their every move scrutinized with the insatiable hunger of a populace thirsting for tales of intrigue and downfall. It was the narrative of their lives now splayed upon the pages of both noble and commoner minds alike. Asterisk in this era of public noticing, where secrets were veiled yet not hidden, the monarchy's image became a canvas upon which the shifting colours of perception painted their own version of royalty. Asterisk each decision, every silence, amplified through the madrigal of public discourse. At court, these whispers reached fever pitch, tongues weaving tales of grandeur and grievance, echoing through ancient stone corridors. Courtiers, once steadfastly loyal, cast furtive glances, their minds tallying the balance of favor against folly. Asterisk inside the glow of candlelit chambers, a decisive hand was needed. A hand that could steer public sentiment like a ship navigating treacherous waters. Asterisk, but could the king, enveloped in the grand illusion of his own infallibility, discern the murmur of dissent that now rippled through his kingdom? He found himself wrestling with the visage that stared back in the fractured mirror of public view, a visage that bore shadows of the empire's collective fears and ambitions. Here the truth stood stark. To command the public mirror was not a matter of pulling strings of o'er, but rather walking the fine line between perception and reality. The possibility of reshaping their narrative loomed like a spectre at the edge of the court, whispering strategies of reformation and authenticity. Asterisk, while the dawn of a new era beckoned, inviting transparency and engagement, the question lingered: would the monarchy embrace this evolution or recoil into the comforting shadows of tradition? Entrenched in this turbulent nexus of public consciousness, they realized the stories woven by their people were the very threads of their destiny. Yet, even in the certainty of unfolding change, an unsettling whisper persisted, an undercurrent threatening to disrupt the fragile stability. How long before the mirror, once silent, shattered under the weight of its own truth? Catherine, the crown jewel of the aristocracy, now found herself ensnared in a gilded trap of expectations, a puppet dancing to an orchestrated waltz of silent oppression, a queen illustrious in public eye, yet isolated in the looming shadows. Her youth had sparkled with promises of grandeur, but the echo of applause now felt hollow, overshadowed by the whispering corridors of the palace that seemed to watch her every move, monitoring her compliance more than her contentment. Nights were the hardest. Beneath the veneer of painted smiles and elegance, the solitude of her chambers loomed like a silent courtroom, her thoughts the only witnesses to her truth, every decision scrutinized, every move judged, as if her life were but a performance, choreographed by those who wore the cloak of tradition. The realm anticipated a vision of perfection, leaving no room for her own voice to rise above the murmur of obligations and age-old rituals. Amidst the grandeur, an insidious quagmire of whispers and judgments lay in wait, poised to snare the unwary or the rebel-hearted. The weight of the crown, thou, Ga, invisible, pressed down fiercely upon her, heavier with each step she took along the dutiful path. The expectations were ironclad, a tapestry of responsibilities sewn by the hands of history and precedent. Her struggle was not one of obvious rebellion, but of a quiet, dignified perseverance against the current that threatened to erase her identity. Yet, Catherine knew each day sealed another brick in her fortress of resilience, a silent vow against surrender to the forces that sought to silence her spirit. In the heart of this silent battle lay her ultimate test. To wield the power she rarely realized, she held the power to define her narrative amid the cacophony of predetermined scripts. As dawn spilled molten gold across the horizon, Catherine's resolve shimmered anew, a resilient ember refusing to be extinguished. She became astutely aware that change was not born from grand revolutions alone, but from the subtle shifting of undercurrents that could undercut the strongest of empires. Her heart whispered 1,000 stories, each as potent as the divine right that the bloodline bestowed. Yet within her, illuminating and inspiring, a growing anticipation wrestled with despair, as each silent struggle wove into her consciousness a narrative of intention and autonomy that she alone could bestow upon herself. The air crackled with possibilities as she made her way through the corridors, her footsteps an act of defiance against the silence that sought to claim its dominion over her life. As the embers of rebellion threatened to ignite, consuming the kingdom in a wild inferno of dissent, the throne was anything but silent. Whispers of betrayal echoed through stone corridors and across cobbled streets, yet the crown was unmoved. Its response, a symphony of strategic brilliance, decisive yet inscrutable, concealed its intent with layers as intricate as the royal tapestries. Hanging in unyielding grandeur, every move was calculated, every whisper heard. What the subjects deemed a silent monarchy was, in truth, the calm before a storm of counterplay that would turn the tide. The crown's counteractions were not merely a matter of command, but an intricate dance with shadowy figures, poised to strike with a force audacious yet redemptive. With a vision clear and resolute, the monarch orchestrated a cunning alliance, reaching beyond the walls of tradition. Her whispers were bombs, weaving a tapestry of secret support that bound even the most unlikely nobles to her cause. Rivalries were silenced, enemies transformed into cautious conspirators. Her smile, enigmatic and composed, belied an unyielding iron will and hinted at machinations understood only by those closest to the throne. Within the confines of the royal court, the atmosphere was charged with an unspoken tension, a shared knowledge that the monarch's hidden hand would soon reveal itself. The true art lay in aligning the nobles, each swayed by different desires: wealth, power, legacy. Like a maestro conducting an orchestra, she commanded their ambitions, their weaknesses, their loyalties, all bending to her will. Here, in the opulent chamber of decision, power was born not from the blade, but from the quiet influence wielded in hushed tones. And so she pulled them together, a seamless web knitted with promises and intrigue, where each thread was spun with deliberate detail. It was a chess game played on the grand board of history, every move shrouded in mystery, every piece a living soul, teetering between alliance and betrayal. Yet the crown remained a silent sentinel, wise beyond the tumult of human folly, guiding its people with a sure hand, hidden beneath velvet and gold. In these perilous games, the stakes were extraordinarily high, with life and legacy resting on the razor's edge. Yet, Just as victory seemed within reach, destiny summoned a darker player from the shadows. From distant lands, a figure emerged, a whispered legend carrying a secret capable of turning ally against ally and shattering the fragile peace. This spectre posed a riddle, both threat and opportunity, challenging the monarch's plans with an audacity that could tip the balance for the price of allegiance, or perhaps for something far deeper. Would the crown's path alter course, yielding to this unforeseen force, or would the shadow be absorbed, its secrets forging an even stronger foundation for the throne? The story unfolds, the tension thick as night, as the kingdom holds its breath for the next move. Only the crown knew, and the world waited in hushed apprehension. In the kingdom's gilded halls where majesty once reigned unchallenged, a whisper began to ripple through the court. A whisper of betrayal. The duke, a trusted consigliere, wrapped in the pomp of loyalty, felt the weight of ambition pressing ardently against his conscience. Secrets, malignantly gathered over years of feigned devotion, crafted a tapestry of deceit. Underneath the grand chandeliers, shadowed corners hid truth's greatest adversaries. Here were concealed letters, alliances forged with silent oaths, promises whispered in lulls of festival music. Yet, the Duke was not alone in this treacherous dance. His alliances spread like a creeping vine, each tendril seeking to choke the very fabric of the monarchy's sanctity. As if the bedrock of trust itself had shattered, the air seemed charged with an unspoken tension, a precursor to revolution. The court spun tales, each more vivid and horrifying than the last. Murmurs became accusations, accusations became edicts, until suspicion hung heavy, an oppressive spectre over regal gatherings. Yet, it was her, the queen, who stood silent, poised against the onslaught, eyes steady and unfaltering. For every betrayal that crawled into the light, she countered with a grace and resilience that surprised even her most ardent detractors. Love, though bruised, was not broken. It became her shield, her weapon in a war fought with silent glances and furtive movements. But as night cloaked the palace, the scent of rebellion was undeniable, a predatory force that gnawed at the foundations of their world. The king's heart carried the heavy burden of fractured confidence. Isolated by deceit, encircled by wolves in formal wear, his quest for solace seemed a distant dream. Yet destiny, often a harsh mistress, had plans of her own. A streak of redemption, unexpected and profound, unfurled gently amidst the turmoil. One by one, loyal hearts emerged from the shadows, vowing allegiance anew, driven by a deep-seated love for their kingdom's legacy. These vows, in softer voices, promised renewal. The cost of betrayal was devastating, testing bonds more resilient than they appeared. In those darkest hours, hope flickered and danced across the oppressive chambers of power. Redemption was not merely an act of grace, but a process marred with pain and perseverance. Still, as dawn cracked open the sky, the kingdom's pulse began to beat anew with rejuvenated life and purpose. The Duke, captured and unconcealed, faded into history's shadow, a cautionary tale amid tales of grandeur. A lesson learned dearly, he served as a reminder of what once lay hidden beneath the elegance of royal edifice. From the wreckage of deception arose an ironclad resolve, transforming turmoil into the roots of new strength. The Queen, a scented intrigue of her own making, remained, watchful and wise, a beacon for her people who roared back against the attempt to usurp their cherished sovereignty. Betrayal had given them a new perspective, redemption a second chance. As the Ear Kingdom flourished under the triumphant sun, it was a stark reminder of the resilience etched into their shared history, binding anew the fragile tapestry of trust. And yet, like the inevitable pull of the tide, the story moved onward to its next chapter, leaving audiences gripped by its unpredictable course. For the echoes of betrayal and redemption resonate across cycles, the gears of monarchy grinding ceaselessly onward. In the dim corridors of power, where the echoes of ancient legacies linger, a new chord of destiny is struck, threatening to drown out the voices that have long presided over the kingdom. The once stalwart dynasty now stands at a crossroads as whispers of rebellion ride the winds, stirring the very foundations of the monarchy. A single thread wavers between tradition and revolution, weaving through the fabric of time, shaping a narrative that challenges history and dares the crown to re-examine itself. The air is thick with anticipation. Every heart beats in sync with the resounding drums of change, heralding a royal renaissance. Yet, amid the furor, a solitary figure emerges, an heir whose steps resonate with both ambition and trepidation. Born into a world defined by gilded opulence and inherited duty, they carry within them the weight of past glories and looming expectations. Their eyes, once trained only to see the shimmering veneer of royalty, now perceive the fractures beneath, unseen yet palpable, a silent testament to the vulnerabilities of a fragile empire. As the realm teeters on a precipice, power unfurls its tantalizing allure, wrapping itself around the heart of the young ruler like a serpent weaving its fate. Resolved to defy the constraints of tradition, they embark on a daring quest to dismantle the chains of antiquity, yearning for a throne, unshackled by the ghosts of yesterday. Shadows lengthen in the twilight, concealing hate allies and traitors, as truth becomes a rare and precious currency in this courtly dance of deception and trust. Yet the greatest enemy lies not in distant threats, but within the echoing doubts that soil the conscience, the enduring struggle between duty and desire, and the relentless pursuit of legacy that forever haunts their steps. Amongst opulence and whispers, they must choose whether to follow the path laid out by ancestors or forge a new trail blazed by their own vision. As the clock strikes the final hour, the audience awaits breathless. What legacy will this heir etch into the annals of history? An explosion of decisions shatters the silence. A vow, etched in steel and light, resonating across the lands, and in one bold stroke, the legacy is rewritten. The cry of hawks in the sky signals an end and a beginning intertwined, a cyclical dance of power, reminding the world that kingdoms may fall, but the spirit of the crown and its people endures, forever shifting, forever defiant. The reign is reborn, and amidst the unfolding tapestry of time, a new legend commences, crafting the soul of a nation for generations yet untold. Beneath the tapestry of stars, a quiet calm descends. Catherine stands on the precipice of a world burgeoning with new possibilities, her gaze fixed upon the horizon that brims with uncharted promise. The revelations of her past, once a shackle, now unfurl as a banner of newfound strength. With the weight of her lineage gracefully poised upon her shoulders, she steps forward, each footfall resonating with the certainty of choosing her destiny. The winds carry whispers of change, traditions whisper caution, while fate, in its enigmatic weave, beckons her to dream beyond the limits of what once was. Friends and foes alike linger in the shifting shadows, a tapestry of loyalties redrawn in the light of truth. From the embers of trials past, a phoenix arises, its wings gilded in the fire of resolve. As Catherine navigates this labyrinth of future and fate, a single truth shines through the labyrinth. Every path taken will carve a new realm from the old, a realm where possibility is the new sovereign. Those who gather at the court hold their breath, watching as she takes that first bold step into the unknown. A realm waits, vibrant and alive, echoing with the call of its rightful heir, as she walks not alone, but with the legacy of ancients guiding her, and the hope of tomorrow lighting her path. The crown upon her brow gleams with potential, a beacon heralding the dawn of eras yet to unfold. And as Catherine ventures forth, weaving her own tale amidst the whispering winds, the world stands poised on the brink of transformation, each heartbeat echoing with the promise of an unseen path ahead.